not to take thy coat also. Give to every one that asks of thee, and of him who takes away thy goods demand them not again. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also in like manner to them. For if ye love those who love you, what thanks have ye? For even the sinners love those who love them. And if ye do good to those who do good to you, what thanks have ye? For even the sinners do the same. And if ye lend to those of whom ye hope to receive, what thanks have ye? And sinners lend to sinners, that they may receive as much in return. But love your enemies, and do good, and lend, hoping for nothing in return, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be sons of the highest, for he is kind to the unthankful and evil. Be ye merciful, as your Father also is merciful. And judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Acquit, and ye shall be acquitted. Give, and it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall they give into your bosom. For with the same measure with which ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. And he spoke also a parable to them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? A disciple is not above the teacher, but every one shall be perfected as his teacher. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but perceivest not the beam that is in thine own eye? How canst thou say to thy brother, Brother, let me cast out the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote that is in thy brother's eye. For there is no good tree that bears corrupt fruit, nor corrupt tree that bears good fruit. For every tree is known from its own fruit. For from thorns they do not gather figs, nor from a bramble bush do they harvest grapes. The good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth that which is good, and the evil out of the evil brings forth that which is evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. And why call ye me, Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Every one that comes to me and hears my sayings and does them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man building a house, who digged deep and laid a foundation on the rock. And when a flood arose, the stream burst upon that house, and could not shake it, because it was well builded. But he that hears and does not is like a man that built a house upon the earth without a foundation, on which the stream burst, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Chapter 7. When he completed all his sayings in the hearing of the people, he entered into Capernaum. And a certain centurion's servant, who was dear to him, was sick and about to die. And having heard concerning Jesus, he sent to him elders of the Jews, asking him that he would come and heal his servant. And they, coming to Jesus, besought him earnestly, saying, He is worthy that thou shouldst do this for him, for he loves our nation, and himself built our synagogue. And Jesus went with them, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying to him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldst enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come to thee, but say with a word, and my servant will be healed. For I am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, Go, and he goes, and to another, Come, and he comes, and to my servant, Do this, and he does it. And Jesus, hearing these things, marveled at him, and turning, said to the multitude that followed him, I say to you, I found not so great faith even in Israel. And they who were sent, returning to the house, found the servant whole that had been sick. And it came to pass the day after, that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and a great multitude. And as he came near to the gate of the city, behold, a dead man was carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a great multitude of the city was with her. And seeing her, the Lord had compassion on her, and said to her, Weep not. And he came and touched the bier, and they who bore it stood still. And he said, Young man, I say to thee, arise. And the dead sat up, and began to speak. And he gave him to his mother. And fear seized on all, and they glorified God, saying, A great prophet has arisen among us, and God has visited his people. And this report went forth in all Judea concerning him, and in all the country around. And the disciples of John reported to him concerning all these things. And John, calling to him 2 of his disciples, sent them to Jesus, saying, Art thou he that comes, or look we for another? And coming to him, the men said, John the Immerser has sent us to thee, saying, Art thou he that comes, or look we for another? And in that very hour he cured many of diseases and plagues and evil spirits, and on many blind he bestowed sight. And answering, he said to them, Go, and report to John what ye saw and heard, that the blind receive sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, to the poor good tidings are published. And happy is he, whoever shall not be offended at me. And when the messengers of John had departed, he began to say to the multitudes concerning John, What went ye out into the wilderness to behold? A reed shaken by the wind? But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they who are gorgeously apparelled and live delicately are in kings' palaces. But what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yea, I say to you, and much more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send forth my messenger before thy face, who shall prepare thy way before thee. For I say to you, among those born of women, no one is a greater prophet than John. But he that is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. And all the people, hearing it, and the publicans, justified God, having been immersed with John's immersion. But the Pharisees and the lawyers rejected the counsel of God toward themselves, not having been immersed by him. To what then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? They are like to children sitting in the market, and calling to one another, saying, We piped to you, and ye danced not. We sang the lament to you, and ye wept not. For John the Immerser has come, neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and ye say, He has a demon. The Son of Man has come eating and drinking, and ye say, Behold, a glutton and a wine drinker, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom was justified on the part of all her children. And one of the Pharisees asked him to eat with him, and entering into the house of the Pharisee, he reclined at table. And behold, a woman who was a sinner in the city, learning that he is reclining at table in the house of the Pharisee, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and standing behind at his feet weeping, began to wet his feet with tears, and wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. And seeing it, the Pharisee who had bidden him spoke within himself, saying, This man, if he were a prophet, would know who and what sort of woman this is that touches him, for she is a sinner. And Jesus answering said to him, Simon, I have somewhat to say to thee. And he says, Teacher, say on. A certain moneylender had 2 debtors. The one owed 500 denaries, and the other 50. And they having nothing to pay, he forgave them both. Which of them therefore, tell me, will love him most? Simon answering said, I suppose he to whom he forgave most. And he said to him, Thou didst rightly judge. And turning to the woman, he said to Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thy house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with tears, and wiped them with her hair. Thou gavest me no kiss, but she, from the time I came in, ceased not to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but she anointed my feet with ointment. Therefore I say to thee, her many sins are forgiven, for she loved